My first time sharing this story with Jewish people and non-Jewish. It's like the nations here together celebrating with the Jewish people. A beautiful holiday, and what Hanukkah is the actual meaning. So now the Jewish people again face powerful enemies intended to destruction. Let us hear the story, which takes place in 165 BC, the Hanukkah story. Antiochus and his men go on a murderous rampage to Jerusalem. He exalted himself to divine statues, placing him in deep trouble with the true God. And Antiochus outlaws Jewish Shabbat observance and circumcisions, which is, you will recall this as signs of the ancient everlasting covenant of God, of Abraham and his descendants. He prohibits the food laws of the Torah observance and other covenants practice of the Jewish people. When it seemed that the thing could not go worse, an Antioch army storms into the temple itself. The soldiers boil a pig and pour boiled pig broth on the holy Torah scrolls. They throw down the 7 candle lampstand, the menorah they always burn in the temple to remain the people, God's people, eternal light. And then, as if he throw the very first of the 10 commandments back in the face of God's people, you should have no other gods before me. The Antioch set up a statue of the Greek god Zeus in the holies of holies, the holy place in the temple. He demanded the Jewish people to worship this idol and then sacrifice unclean pig at the altar of God. And Antiochus Epiphanes has committed very possible outrages against the God of Israel. The Antioch army now has the Jewish people completely in his power and is making their lives miserable. One day, the Antioch soldiers tried to force the Jewish villagers in the town of Modi'im, it's in Hebrew, Modi'im, near Jerusalem, to make sacrifice to a Greek gods. In the crowd is located, in the crowds is local Jewish priest. His name is in Hebrew Matthias, and several of his sons, Judah, Shimon, Johanan, Jonathan, and Eleazar. Seeing the first Jew begin to sacrifice to pagan gods, so enraged Matthias that he strikes his brethren Jew and shouts, "Whoever is for the Lord and the Torah, follow me." They revolt of Matthias, many follow his lead, and they began to revolt against the Greek army of Antioch. Fleeing to the caves of the hill of Judea, Matthias has his followers conduct him. They know their land of Judea so well that they attack the army, then quickly escape to caves of Judea desert. The Jewish freedom fighters movement continued to fight the Greek army until they finally defeated and returned to Syria. Judah, the son of Matthias, became the leader of the revolt. It's called Judah the Hammer, in Hebrew the Maccabee, because he relentless pound in Syria enemies of the Jewish people like a hammer. The Jewish freedom fighters that Judea led became known as the Maccabees. Judah the Maccabee with a whole crowd comes to Jerusalem to find the Jewish temple desolate. They must purify the temple. It had to be grossly polluted by the Syrian soldiers. After proper ritual cleansing, Judah has newly cleansed the vessel brought back to the sanctuary, the menorah, the table, the special showbread, and the golden incense altar. He restored the doors and hanged the veils. They want the light of the menorah to find the only one small jar of oil remains. This is only enough to burn one day, but they needed to burn 8 days. It wouldn't take 8 days to make and prepare new oil. With great faith, the light of the menorah, it was a miracle happens. The little jar of oil lasted 8 days, keeping the lights burning at the menorah until they finished cleaning the temple. Then the leaders of the priests hold a special ceremony to dedicate the temple of the Lord, the God of Israel. What a great victory God gave his people. He has protected them at the Jewish way of life from being destroyed. This begins the Jewish feast of Hanukkah, which means dedication in Hebrew. Hanukkah means dedication in Hebrew. The Jewish people celebrate 8 days festival of lights of the feast of Hanukkah every year to commemorate the victory of God gave them over their enemies in rededication of the temple of God's miracles for provision. Such a beautiful story, and what I want to say, since we are celebrating Jewish people and Gentiles, the nations and Jewish people together, that if it was no Hanukkah, the Maccabees would not fight their battle, if they didn't win, but God had the victory, then we wouldn't have no Christmas. If it was no Hanukkah, there wouldn't be no Christmas. There wouldn't be no King David, there wouldn't be no King David, no Josie, no Miriam, and no Yeshua, no Jesus. So God prevailed the Jewish people, and the salvation came to all the nations. So if it wasn't no Hanukkah, it would have been no Christmas. So I want to thank all the Jewish people and Gentiles, the nations, to celebrate Hanukkah here and to recognize. This makes me, it touches my heart, the story of Esther, how she was used to preserve her nation. The Jewish people also were facing persecution to be destroyed, and God kept them again and saved them. So I'm so grateful to celebrate tonight another victory. This is what is Hanukkah, so this is what I want to share the story, because it's a true story written by God and what happened. So let's Hag Sameach, let's celebrate Hanukkah, and I'm so happy from my heart to celebrate with people from all over the world, non-Jewish and Jewish, to celebrate together, and being grateful because salvation came from them. The Messiah came from the Jewish people. This is why we have Yeshua, because if it wasn't from it came from Sarah, Abraham, it came from King David to Boaz and Miriam and Joseph. And we are here tonight. God bless them.
Amen. Thank you, Erminia.